Great morning, everyone. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic morning today. Today, Piper Academy, and by the way, welcome to the Morning Market Report. Today, we have a very important guest. It is a casual guest, but let's welcome the chicken in my flautas, the salsa in my pozole, and of course, the cheese on top or on inside of my quesadillas. This is the only one, Mr. Not Treyfly. You will have to excuse me because I did not change that name, but that is it. This is the ambassador of orange juice and coffee. Welcome, Piper. How's it going, brother?
Man, I am so tired of moving houses. Let me tell you, I'm done with it. But no, it's good. We're into the new house. We just got the internet hooked up finally yesterday. I'm at a folding desk in a lawn chair right now, but I have at least the minimum setup going on here for what's going on in the macro world, trying to get sped back up on what's going on. All I know is Bitcoin does not like the value area high. That's what I do know.
Oh, that's fantastic, my friend. We have missed you so much. And I mean, I know that moving is such a mess, but great that you're holding up. But I don't know, should we get started with the news? Should we get started with the charts? What would you like to go and stream or handle the stream today?
Yeah, so I haven't really even honestly looked at much on the macro side, so we can look at it together if you want to go ahead and bring it up. I think we can do that as a team here and take a look at what I'm seeing on the macro side of the world. I don't see what you got broadcasting right now. So are we up right now? Do we have a screen?
No, with just you and I. Sorry, there's something that I don't know how to do, which is showing you the broadcast. You will have to open up YouTube to watch that. We are nonetheless, I'll catch you through. We are in dual cam at this point. And let's go maybe to take a look at the news. I also send you over Discord the layout of the news that we're going to be going over, just in case you want to read it and click it in, see what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get started with the charts. Let's see where Bitcoin is at. And let me know when you see the charts, because this is going to be a little bit difficult now that I remember, because you don't have real-time watching my charts, right?
Yep, but it's all good. I'm just going to run through this real fast. I just wanted to say hey to all the alumni. I miss everybody. I miss doing the show. I've almost got everything set back up and ready to do this thing. But looking at the markets today, guys, we do have a little bit of a pullback happening on Bitcoin, but at the same time, we are getting kind of flat stock markets going on with the open today. I can give this a refresh just to make sure. Yeah, we're looking at a 0.09% on the Dow Jones, 0.11 on the S&P, and up about 0.06, so almost flat completely on the NASDAQ. VIX is under 20, but it is green and coming back up. But right now, stock market getting a little bit of rise, but according to CNBC, that is a little bit tempered because of weak jobs data. This is a live update from CNBC. But you can see U.S. stocks rose slightly on Wednesday, but gains were kept in check after private sector hiring hit its lowest level in more than 2 years. So we are seeing a big slowdown in the hiring of labor force in the United States right now. A report from payrolls processing firm ADP showed the payrolls increased only 37,000 for the month, less than the downwardly revised 60,000. So in April, guess what? We had job numbers and then they downwardly revised them like we're used to seeing, right? But we had 60,000 in April and only 37,000 for this month. So let's jump over here. Let's go check out the economic calendar. I want to make sure that we get that. There we go. Economic calendar. And let's just show you guys these numbers. Let's go into category, countries. We're going to clear it all. And we're just going to throw the good old United States on there. There we go. And then save that. Let's bring this up and let's just take a look and see what all we did have today on these numbers. ADP employment change, you can see revised down 60,000 right there. 115K was what they were expecting on the consensus. 70,000 forecast. So both of them were expected to be much better than what we previously had. Dropped it down to 37K for that ADP employment change. And then, not looking too hot there. And then ISM services also was down a little bit. We're seeing a PMI on that was supposed to be 52 from the 51.6, and that dropped also. Now, tomorrow, we're going to be getting initial jobless claims coming in. You can see that this is expected to either be below or above. Flip a coin. Just a lot like, hey, what's price going to do on Bitcoin? Flip a coin. That's coming in tomorrow for initial jobless claims. And then Friday is going to be the big one. It's going to be our unemployment rate and our non-farm payrolls. Right now, expected for June 6th, Friday, 4.2% unemployment rate, expected to be flat, unchanged there. So we will see if this comes in a little bit higher. This does give reason for Jerome Powell to be forced to cut some rates. Okay, so getting the rate cut out of him is pretty hard right now. He's scared of what the inflation can do. The only thing that can counter those inflation fears is a weakening of the labor market, and we could be seeing that start to happen. So that is what we have there on that. Overall, let me flip over to the Bitcoin chart. You can see here what happened. This is a value area high that I've been watching for a while back here, guys. Big O cloud here, big O nipples there, as we talk around all the time about. But that is the value area high there on that entire fixed range volume profile. And that is what we rejected off of. Also coming in line perfectly there. Let me get rid of the Mexican spaghetti. Coming in line perfectly there with our quantum reactor from Chart Prime. You can see lots of rejection going on there. Stretch this out, get some chunky candles in there, and you'll see rejection. So a lot of pullback there off of that quantum reactor. And when it coincided here with the value area high, gave us a pullback. We have now lost the dynamic reactor and are heading down, guys. Watch that $101,881 level. I know these fibs do not pull from the top here anymore because we broke the previous range that this was at. But I do still think that these levels of the 88.7 and the 78.6 are still relevant on this chart, even though we do have a new top here to pull those fibs from. I would be watching for us to come back into this range of that 101,881. If we do break down past that, guys, we do have a 50-day simple moving average. That's going to be our saving grace here. Let me bring that in. That's going to come in right there at about $100,000 range. So nice psychological number for a bounce and support. Ultimately, far down goal. If we lose that 786, we lose that 50-day. Guys, watch for us to come down into the golden pocket. That's going to be your point of control for this entire range history here on the fixed range volume profile. That would be the one that I would need to watch. So that's what I got on a Bitcoin update. OC. Oh, wait, nope. One more thing. It's been a hot minute. I forgot how to do this. We do have the daily oscillators. Taking a look here at the daily oscillators, you can see that on the MACD normalized here on the daily, we do have a flat histogram. We do have a continuation of the signal wave here. This tells me we could see lower numbers coming in. Money flow is kind of positive, but it's going flat on us. And then we do have the oscillator ribbon daily coming down. And you can see the volume on Bitcoin has just absolutely crashed on the daily, going into a negative zone here for volume. And we look like we're about to do another continuation of the RSI primed, giving us further downside movement. Also, guys, watching here on the daily, we're looking at that $100,000 range. Again, that's that 50-day simple moving average. But if we lose that, watch out for about $97,700. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we'll see. I also see a couple of retracements there. Yesterday, I gave a possible long on Bitcoin because we were riding on top of that dynamic reactor. And I promised to give a follow-up today. Right now, we are a little bit underwater. Let me go and check out my charts. Let me share with you really quickly what I'm looking at, which should be... there we go. I think you should be able to see my charts right now.
I can.
Perfect. So let's go to my charts really quickly and let's see what I got in here. So this is basically what we look at yesterday. Let me just start turning things off and let's go explain the logic behind this. This is a little range that we could be thinking if we have a Wyckoff possible scenario, right? So in this case, we're coming down, little range, V-shaped recovery, high not higher than the previous range. And if we measure, we take a look at Wyckoff. Let's just go really quickly. And let's drop back down here. And there we go. We can define either a slight pull up at this point, which defines the outer range, and then we can come back in and create this range, right? This is usually give us 70% chances of ranging, 70, not 100, right? So we need to keep that into consideration. So basically what we can do is come up a little bit higher in here, right? And then after that, define our outer range and then back into our inner range. I'm expecting to have a tilted downwards sort of range, something like this, all right? But so far, this is what we're measuring, and that's why we're going for this long. Remember, the charts are inverted, and we're trying to protect ourselves on the next setup for our support, and that is right here where we have important money or smart money coming in. So we're going basically somewhere around here, very close to our golden line in there. Let me flip this back because this is messing with my brain a little bit. Let's invert it back, and this is what we're looking for, right? So that's why we're looking for a possible, let me make you bigger, my friend. I don't know why I sent you all the way back here. Let's see. I think I got it. And no, man, I need to work this out. Oh, I see why. All right, much better. And it's been a long time since I don't manage two people. All right. Oh, come on. Please let me not make it that painful. All right. And finally, let's transform you. Let's blend you into a screen. Oh, nope. Let's just leave it like as is. All right, perfect. Much better. So at this point, this is what I was calling for a possible long, despite we were bull bearish and we could be turning back around because, I mean, we can still put on a swing of the lows. And remember, that's why we have our alert all the way down here. Remember, at this point, this is a half of an entry, right? And well, we're still backing this up. Something that is going to happen if we come back down and we don't do a V-shaped recovery. In that case, if this is a multi-candle coming back down, multi-candle coming back up in here, and then we see our oscillator. Let me show you really quickly. Our oscillator, not this one, just the pro one. There we go. Being below and not breaking through, just basically rejecting here. Well, then that means that we could basically be breaking back downwards in here, right? So we need to be careful right there. Here's where we're gonna be making our head switch. But so far, the trend line, it is holding, and we're gonna be trusting so far that it's going to do so. If not, that's why we have our stop loss, our secondary entry to lower our entry point, and then as soon as we're breaking back into profits, we take 50% out, move our stop to entry, and of course, we have that plan so far. So that's what I got on the charts. Piper, would you like to go over something else on your charts?
Nope, I got to go meet with the next contractor. I got a water purification system coming in. So
let's get it.
Be here any minute. So yeah, I just wanted to jump in and give you guys a little update on what's going on with the macro side today. Give a shout out to all of the alumni, especially Alex O, Crypto, the Otter Gang. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing, so check out my shirt. See this? Let me see if I can get to the back of it for you. I'm in a lawn chair, so let me see. Hold on. You got to see the back of this shirt. Hold on. There we go. Can you see it?
Maybe move to your right a little bit more. Oh, barely. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the other back vacationing.
That's right. I got an otter t-shirt on today. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody and jump in here with you. I will be back to start doing the hosting of the morning market report once we get through all the craziness. But I will be also at Hackers today with you at 3 o'clock OC. So we'll see you then. Alumni, stay awesome. Stay tuned into the charts. OC, you might want to take a look at the CME Gap, $92,000 CME Gap still open. Yep. But I will catch you guys hopefully tomorrow morning. Peace.
Absolutely. Piper, thank you so much for joining. Great. The most of the lugs, the greatest of the lugs for installing all of the water supplies and stuff. We want you safe. No lead on your water, please. It's fun.
It's better than Mexican water.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I cannot This kills that, man. All right, guys. So let's go take a look at my charts in here in the meantime, and we'll move into the next setup in here afterwards. So he mentioned let's take a look at the CME Gap. So why not? Let's do that. We are in the wrong segment. Here it is. We should be at BDC1. So 91K. I don't actually see. Oh, something in 92K. We have a CME Gap, an unclosed CME Gap in here. So this is not new. Remember 92, 93. Remember where we were talking about this? I mean, if not, let's do it one more time just for good measure, right? Let me see if I can find that actual chart. 1 second. Let's just let it load. There it is. And we'll try to make this work as we go. So if not, well then whatever. We just draw on top of it. So basically what we're looking for is breakout retest. We're measuring the retracement as we always do with this little trick. Breakout retest, off we go all the way up. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the first third, which we already have hit, right? And then half of it. So what is the half of it? 97, 93. And what is 93? Because right here we have an interesting zone to be playing out. So there it is, the next support. So basically if we hit here, 97 is our first area of support at half of it, and maybe overshoot somewhere around 93 and 93, 94. That's where we have a support zone. So let's get started with the news, guys, because we have a lot of things to go through. We're gonna come back to crypto, and also I want to take a look at a couple of stuff on gold and some metals. By the way, guys, remember we're opening this up for we have Emma Coiner. Hey, Emma Coiner, she says bye-bye. Oh my God, did not saw you. Hopefully you are having a great and fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate that. Also, guys, I never shouted you out. We have Alex on crypto. Let me go all the way up in here. Let's go to solo cam, because that way we can watch you guys much better. We have Alexander G, Average Crypto Joe. We have Baba Jazz. What is up? We have JR. We have Roaming Brave. What is up? Ninja Gluck. What is up, bro? Crypto Billy in the house. Mr. Harp. What is up, my friend? Today, I promise you, at 9, I'm gonna be taking 9. What I'm saying, man? Right after this class, and that's why we're gonna be ending up a little bit early, because I need my my orange juice and my coffee mix, man. I miss that so much. But yeah, absolutely. Alexander G. Also, we have double shout out, by the way. JR, double shout out. Harp, double shout out. Mac Play, what's up, my friend? Who else we have here? Crypto Chef, what is up, bro? Thank you so much for stopping by, brother. Who else we have in here? Darren, what does things? What is up, my friend? Thank you so much for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Also, Darren does things. Welcome to the alumni. Welcome, friend. Welcome back. Welcome back. Who else we have in here? Shemetric Shaik. What is up? Always butcher your name. I'm really sorry. Really trying my best. Promise you. I'll keep practicing. I'll get it. Just keep coming here and then keep saying hi. I promise I'm gonna get your name correct and as best as possible. Promise. Frank did thank. What is up, my friend? Who else we have in here? Matthew. What is up, Matthew? Of course, Piper. That it was here with us in a second. Mohammed. What is up? Or Mohammed. What is up? Lunar Beach Crypto. What is up, brother? Murphy, YouTube, I guess, or YT. Good morning. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. Who else we have in here? JB, Emma, Coiner. What is up, Emma? Hopefully we can see you more often around here. That'll be fantastic. And by the way, let me know when you come back. Alex, Crypto, of course, Mr. Order, Murphy, YouTube. Again, I think double shout out. What else we have? Who else we have in here? Oh man, XYZ. What is up, my friend? BC Port Corp. What is up, brother? And I think we're up to date. Let's go to the news, because I think this is a little funny. And not the actual thumbnail, right? Not the trade wars, but actually kind of like, remember that Elon Musk that was right with Donald Trump? Now they're kind of like not in the same page. Remember that he also got fired? Well, or fired or fired? I don't know, man, but he's no longer head of Dodge. I don't even know the Dodge is going to keep going on as a governmental, what is it, deficiency apartment? No, just kidding, of course. But he also got a golden key, right? And he said that he's going to be keeping in touch with the president and offering his consultant services. So that's good. I think the guy, it has something behind him. That's why he is where he is. But if you read a little bit of him and Trump has a lot in common on how they do business. Just saying, by the way, just my perspective. Curtis Hill, what is up? Crypto Mike, what is up? Welcome to the alumni. All right, so let's get it. Let's go to the news. All right, let's get started here with still tariff double today. So not a surprise. We already know that, right? U.S. doubles tariff on steel and aluminum imports. President Trump announced plans to double tariff on imported steel and aluminum to 50% effective immediately, right? Just when you get fired. No, just kidding. Just when you renounce, right? You say to your boss, well, I renounce, effective immediately. Bye-bye, I'm crypto rich. All right, what else? This move aimed to protect domestic industries, but has a rise concern about potential trade tension and increased cost of manufacturing. Yes, we know, right? Yesterday we were explaining how the numbers played out and what did that mean across the board. So basically we start seeing how the U.S. is starting to feel that trade wars, but not only the States, also China. I mean, we can see how smaller businesses, they need to rise their products because they can absorb it, and they already have manufacturing also with middle and small manufacturers on China, and China is also having a retrenchment or on production, right? But still, things are gonna keep moving, and as we move, change is good. Let's hope that this kind of change, it is the good kind of change. But again, we're going to be seeing some masses moving up across the United States. Hopefully this takes effect as soon as possible. Let's go now in here and let me see if I can unblind you for a little bit. Oh yeah, it worked. All right, Musk versus Trump and abomination, he said. Let's get started in here. Elon Musk elaborates a new congressional spending bill as a disgusting abomination, expressing concern over its potential to increase the national debt significantly. And we need to take a look at the debt in here. So don't worry, I got you covered. Kobayashi actually made the hard work for us, but we'll see how that goes, right? But at this point, Musk is expressing his concern over its potential to increase the national debt significantly. His comments have spoken debates among policy markets, I don't know how to read that then, sorry, and investors. So we'll see that not only Donald Trump is very exciting about this, because remember, he calls this the big, beautiful bill, right? So BBB. So that's why Trump is kind of going for that bill. He is very excited. I mean, we have a strong opposite by Musk, right? I mean, you see Musk, who recently stepped down, as we called it out, right? Or he got fired as chief of Department of Government Efficiency. Dutch claims the bill on their cuts the very cost savings refunds he has led over the past 2 years. Well, what do you guys think? I mean, for one, I believe that, the Dutch, that was fantastic. I mean, especially having a face like Elon Musk going after it or behind it, giving it that punch that it needed. It also revealed a lot of stuff that we were not aware of. I mean, how corruption started to, eat away at that spending, right? I mean, there's no other way to say it. And also, we can look at how those excessive or untraceable spendings were, right? Just a little piece of money here. Let's just say that U.S. cannot track the billions of dollars that they have sent to Ukraine, and also for some reason they overspend a lot of money that they cannot explain. And in the meantime, they want your $50 that you pay Timmy. Wolf by cutting the grass, and if not, well then you know what you get if you don't get your shit together. How they cannot get their own shit together, that is an important critic that I also double down, triple down, quadruple down on my country, just so you know. So that is the deal here. Let's go for the next one here. U.S. and China trade wars. Now, this is the important thing. Why? Tensions are getting worsened, right? I mean, this is kind of like for one part, for historical measures, this is a little bit exciting, right? But for the rest of it all, it is not. This is actually a little bit worrying. And I just want to call back what happened on history back a couple of years when the launch of, what was it? Black Ops, right? If you remember, if you recall that game, well, what was the actual Black Ops back thing or backstory? Hey, Drew, what is up, my friend? Welcome, welcome. So it was a trade war started, right, when U.S. applied tariff on China. We have a commercial war, right? And then China refused to sell or export any rare earth minerals. And then we have Black Ops launching. This is scary, accurate, just to say the least. Nonetheless, U.S.-China trade war escalates. The trade conflict between the U.S. and China has intensified, with both nations imposing restriction on certain materials and technologies. This is escalation threatens global supply chain and has led to increased market volatility. I mean, we can even see that on gold price. If we go a little bit lower here, global supply China battle drives U.S.-China trade wars challenges. Not only that, let's read a little bit more and we'll see. Here we go. China dominates our rare earth mineral supply. I don't know, man. Is Black Ops once again? Are we gonna have the next Cold War? Hopefully we don't. Hopefully we don't. Again, not trying to alarm you, but it's just so, I mean, close the video game thing, and I'm a big fan of that video game, and also Halo. So if you play Halo, hit me up. I'll share my gaming tag for Xbox, promise. And if you do so, let's play some Halo. Just not if you're Alex or Crypto, by the way. All right, just kidding. I'm gonna get you this time, brother. I'm gonna get you. Mining area an estimated 70% of the world's rare earth metals, and also processing around 90% globally. 90 guys, 90% globally. Beijing has weaponized this control. Of course, they have done it, right? Just like as the U.S. has weaponized its control over the economy. Every single country will look after themselves, and they're going to leverage what they have to leverage. Of course, that is just a usual action-reaction, right? Through a licensing system that monitors and approves sales worldwide, right? Directly in impatienting the global supply China battle. So this is getting weird, to say the least. Right? Not weird, but I don't know how to classify that. But all right, we'll see that. So, in another news, talking about, oh man, I cannot do this. So sorry, I'm about to blind you once again. So sorry, if not everything goes away. Right? Gold prices surge aimed economic uncertainty. Right? So we see all again a price of gold surging. Basically, price of gold yesterday 3,359 plus a 27%. Price of gold 1 month plus a negative 48%, and price of it 1 year ago 29. So the way to read it is from the downside to the upside, right? So the upside to the upside. So basically looking at how it went from right now a 29% increase, and from the last month a 0.48 increase. Historical gold price chart. Well, then we can see how it has been increasing. So at this point, I think will be a good idea to start looking at a chart of gold. Let's go and take a look at that really quickly, and let's see how gold is looking at. In fact, I got it right here on metals. Perfect. All right, so remember the setup that we had? Boom shakalaka, show me the charts, and I'll tell you the news, my friend. Show me the charts, and I'll tell you the news. Hopefully you have a re-entry here, by the way. Something that I need to be clear about, you guys, it is I was planning to re-enter at this point, but the amount of money that I have allocated for gold investment, to be honest, I did spend it on something important, something else. So my re-entry at this point has not been effective. All right, so just so you know, we're in the middle of remodeling. We needed quick cash, and that's why we spend it on, just so you know. At this point, well, just so you also remember, we bought gold back at somewhere around here and somewhere around here. All right, so my average entry, it is somewhere around 2,700. As we have going upwards, I have not sold. I'm not gonna sell it until the end of the year, or even maybe depending on how things go, maybe we're not gonna send it this, not even next year. At this point, we have a breakout, beautiful breakout. We also have that breakout on that trend line. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Beautiful, almost exact retest. There we go, and off we go. It's looking like we want to go up. Still not have, you should not have taken profit at this point. We are in for TP number 1 right here. Then move your stop to entry, and then off we go. I'm just gonna be moving my stop right here because this is a good opportunity to maybe start cutting out some risk. But this is my current state right now. So it's looking fantastic price of gold, but that usually indicates uncertainty in the markets. Bitcoin ETF outflow. Let's talk about those outflows for a second here. So let me see if I can unblind you. Man, this is all right. Perfect. This can work. So we see first 1 billion Bitcoin ETF outflow since March. Are buyers backing off? Of course they are not. We're holding strong our piece. Basically, we already talked about this. There is a trend line. The trend line is over. Basically, we broke the trend line. The trend is broken. But don't panic. If you're panicking right now because of what I'm telling you, go watch yesterday's class, and also please go watch yesterday's late show with Trading with OC. I explained the trend line, the possibilities of that trend line breakout, which is usually between a 30% retracement, which we already have it 30% from the full movement to the outside, the same box retracement that we did, or a 50% retracement on the growth of that box that we did early today, basically looking at 97 for the worst case scenario so far. So is that a retracement? Of course, our buyer is backing off, sort of paper hands, right? But this is just a usual thing. So nobody expects, well, everybody expects, so most of us expect that when we hit all-time highs, we have a retracement, right? So is it healthy? Of course it is. And the best case scenario that we could have, it is, of course, we already have seen it, an inverted Y-cuff, right? Schematic. Basically, let's go back to Bitcoin just so you guys don't panic at me, right? So let's take a look at the trend line. All right, there is a trend line. The trend is broken. In fact, we are on a long on Bitcoin, right? So the best case scenario will be an inverted Y-cuff. So basically, this area will be the high, then the retracement that we see, and finally to set up a possible range for then a reversal. All right, the reversal part, not quite sure. I mean, I am aiming for a flat pause of bullish continuation. And what's that? That is, let's go to maybe a 1 hour chart. Let me just clear this up. This is right here. Look at how similar does that look, right? If we have a trend line in here, the trend line is broken, and this is a flat pause of bullish continuation. All right, so don't panic on me. Still fine. We still go on it, right? So let's see what else we have. So this, I just wanted to bring it up because this is an important news, right? News event. But also I did have the tools to counteract this news. So once again, is it truth? Well, I don't know if buyers are backing off. Of course they are, because somebody is selling. All right, that is just the truth of the matter. But are we panicking? Of course we are not. All right. What else? Donald Trump calls out interest rates cuts. Well, we already, let me unblind you, man. I don't know what's going on with this thing, that it's just not. Oh, I see why it's not doing it. All right. Trump says Fed's Powell must lower interest rate. Truth Social Post. Well, if we go to my BDC and let's take a look at the economical calendar here, not economical calendar, man. Oh, my bad. Let's go take a look at the CME Gap or CME grouping here. Let's see. Let's do this one. The next Fed meeting is in 15 days. I don't know, guys. Also, go back to Monday's class if you're also seeing right now. If you kind of like I don't know, want to have a little bit more information on what Donald Trump is saying, well then, this has not changed. And what is this? Current or lowering, right? 95% staying at the same or lowering. Remember what we talked about? That despite not cutting rates, it is lowering. Sorry, despite not cutting rates, keeping it as how they are, it is basically a signal of improvement. We are not losing the anything else. We're just flattening out, despite we have been cutting rates in the past. So this is not that much. He's just pushing so much pressure in here, and I think he's flexing his power move. Just like he goes with another president, he shakes the heck out of his hand and his arm, right? Power shake. Well, I think this is a little bit more on the inside job, right? So basically, he's shaking out the power moving here, putting pressure on Powell's guys. Donald Trump, it is a big strategy creator, right? So he does what he does because he's cornering his opposition, if I might say it, all right? So what he wants to do is to cornering them. So if he cuts, all right, you just align to what I did, right? If you don't cut, well then, brother, you just are effing us up, right? So eventually he's gonna have to cut rates, right? Unless he decides to rise them. It's not that he decides, right? But depending on how the inflation is going. But remember, we have inflation numbers. They were stable, basically lowering a little bit, right? So what's going to happen with those numbers? Well, we need to wait. The experts say that are gonna keep the same so far. But he's pushing on Powell to lower interest rate, slowing jobs as concern of the U.S. economy. Yes, we know the jobs are important, right? And well, then we'll see how that goes. Furthermore, comments on China. Well, then, yep, let's keep it dark, please. All right. Trump tariffs live update. Trump says China, I think he is calling about Xi Jinping, is extremely hard to make a deal with, highlighting ongoing challenges in U.S.-China trading negotiations. We're seeing the China, because he's got that big leverage, which is rare earth metals. Well, then he is using that leverage. Of course, he's going to do it. Of course, I mean, also, if you take a look at how he rules, they rule with a fist of iron, right? So they're very strong when they set up the food, right? So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how I think, I'm not a politician, all right? I'm not a politician, but I believe that we should be looking to a best interest for both case scenarios, right? Despite the truth is, sometimes we cannot have one without the other. Well, then also I think there is the least amount of damage that can be done that should be looked for. So let's go breaking. Private sector hiring rose. So, hey buddy, Trump, hey man, what's going on with the jobs you were saying? Well, just 37,000. Perfect. I mean, that's very nice to see. Why? Because people are getting hired. That's awesome. Jobs in Maine, the lowest in more than 2 years. Well, despite it rose the lowest, we'll see a little bit of that growth, or people kind of hearing. Yesterday we see horrible numbers. It's a little bit better to see just a little bit of increasing there. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong. Maybe this is just the worst in May. In that case, well then, not a shout out in here. We'll see how that pressure goes. Just in President Donald Trump says too late. Jerome Powell, most lower the interest. Perfect. We're already gone through that once again. And here's one of the important parts that I wanted to touch in, right? So remember, let's go back in here. Let me see. Hopefully I don't blind you. Perfect. Here it is. So remember what Elon Musk exploited explosive criticism, right? So the disgusting bill, right? And that is because he can rose what? Well, then the debt. Let's take a look at what the Kobayashi letter is talking about at this point. The real issue with deficit spending, right? Because if right here in the short term, we see the U.S. not actually pushing higher rates, we see just stabilizing rates. Donald Trump is calling out for cutting out rates, right? So short term, no long term, and long term, incentive in the U.S. political and fiscal system are misaligned. Over the near term, and this is what I was explaining, Congress is incentivizing to spend more and cut taxes to appeal to constitute for a re-election. Of course, the elections are coming. We talked about this a couple of months ago. He only has a certain amount of years to actually have some results. If not, he's going to have to reapply some pressure where he believes to get the American people's support once again. Just so you know, it's not that I support Trump 100%. I do like a couple of his policies. I despite a couple of other ones. It's not that it matters what I think, but there is a certain period of time that they need to do, as a president needs to do, in order to see results of their actions, right? So there is a little bit of counter point in just a re-election at the middle term here, I would say, at the 4 year. Yes, 4 years seems like a long time, but how long does the economy cycle takes to, right? And something that I think might be playing just a little bit behind if presidents are not prepared for it, it is the low time and also the maybe excessive pressure of their legislations that they want to push in to take effect, right? So yeah, I mean, re-election, I think, is not like a must. I think that also has worked in favor of the U.S. people here, just to cut out maybe something that doesn't play out as well, right? But we'll see how that goes, because I think that he might need a little bit more time, especially with the tariff and manufacturing coming back to the U.S. How long does it take a big company to start to quit production or manufacturing out overseas and bring it back home? That means infrastructure in your own country, right? That means bringing back all of the leadership, right, to your country, and all of the manufacture strategy implemented along with preparing the people that you're gonna be needing for that manufacturing, right? So that takes a little bit of time. Just based on what I'm seeing with Trump's plan, well, I think he needs that time desperately, right? However, over the long term, these critiques are financial conflict of interest, right? So I think here's where we relate a little bit of that. Well, maybe a president says, well, I just have 4 years, right? What can I do to do the best of these 4 years and maybe get another chance for the next 4 years? Well, then maybe they take some shortcuts, right? That for the long term, they're not going to be helping the actual government. And I think that gets reflects with the debt that is up plus 13. We started with a T, man, trillion in 5 years. Oh my goodness. I'm happy with one, man. Half of $1 trillion. Just send it to my account. In other words, to reduce deficit spending, you must either raise taxes or cut spending, both of which are wildly unpopular for re-elections, of course, right? But what about the long-term scenario, right? So maybe cutting out in the 4 years, I don't know. I think showing off the big plan must be or needs to be normalized among the next presidencies, right? Over a long enough time frame, this situation results in a bankruptcy 100% of the time, of course, which explains Elon Musk outrage yesterday. Of course, he's trying to save the government a lot of money, and then they incentivize what? Spending, right? The future of America will be determined by this sole issue. The truth of the matter, despite you like it or not, you have the U.S. has a $13 trillion debt in the past 5 years, 4 of which, right, they've been they cannot be accountable. They can be accountable. Sorry. What is happening then? What's going on at this point? Well, then you either take what is the pill, right? You either take the medicine, or you take, I don't know, a short-term just symptomatic reaction. What would you rather, right? What would you rather? That I'll just leave you in your hands, because it's not that my country is doing perfect, right? So this critic goes both ways. So Elon Musk bombshell tweets stepping down from the Dutch may have blown his relationship with Trump. I absolutely think so. We'll see how that goes. Nonetheless, Elon Musk, it is a well-known fact that as he went in to take on Dutch, his own business start not doing that well, right? So I think he needs to get his head in the game, stop playing out as a politician, get his business actually making some money, stabilizing them, and maybe, and just maybe, in the future, he might be run for president. I don't know. I just let it to you guys. Food for thought. All right. So it's almost time. Let's go over some charts today. Let's go once again over Bitcoin, but in different charts. Let's go over what we left out yesterday on the morning market report. And of course, we're going to be taking a look at a couple of other things, just a quick overview on altcoins. Perfect. So right here, what do we have? This is a 70. If I right click and do a inverted scales, you see that right here, we are acknowledging that we have a 70% chances of ranging, right? So that's why we went for that long at that point, still knowing that we can still get at this area, this high, for the next possible retracement. Nonetheless, dynamic reactor is strong, and so far we are holding. Look at that retracement. So far so good. Let me reinvert it back in, right? So this is our entry right here, and basically we are retracing on the candle. Well, let's see. Let's hope that we have that a flip of the ribbon. We're not that positive, but if we lose that trend line, well, then I think our stop loss is going to come in, protect us, go back out, close your long, opening your short, and then off we go. If that is the case, so far I still strong on that long. All right, perfect. Let's go and take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum played out very nicely. We were expecting these areas for TP number 1, then the top areas for TP number 2 already played out, and a possible short if we break down, right, and then retest. So far plan B did not play out. Perfect, that's good. We're still moving upwards. We see some bullish pressure. We have not yet broken out of the range, which is all right. On Litecoin, this is not looking good for me. This is because we have a trend line in here, and then we are slowly going upwards, right? I mean, you can look at that. We have an alert at 91.84, and that is because I am expecting to see a flip of the ribbon somewhere around there. Basically, maybe having a rejection, breakout retest, off we go, all right? So I don't see a bullish signal so far on Litecoin. Not at this point. Are we bullish here? We're on a bullish retracement, all right? But so far, I mean, usually a rising channel or rising wedge usually tends to break to the downside, right? Again, it's not that the gold or the value is in where is it breaks to, but it is on its lower limits, on its outer limits, right? So far, looking for that retracement. If I see that we come back down and then retrace, and that means going up, break out of this area, range, and then I see the flip of the ribbon, that means flat pause of bullish continuation. And this is gonna be my next entry for Litecoin, all right? BNB, because BNB has been performing fairly well, has not been crashing, still having that same upwards movement that Bitcoin. We are kind of like a ranging at this point. As long as we don't lose this trend line right here, I think we're doing fine. And let's hope it doesn't, because I did bought a little bit of BNB for myself, because I did still trade on Binance, just so you know. So let's leave it to till now, guys. I do have to prepare for another class. Let's go to the solo cam. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining today. It was a full pack episode, just like yesterday. Things are moving fast, especially when we're talking about gold, Bitcoin, and Twitter or X. Oh man, who would have thought, man? Maybe that would have been, I don't know, back in the day. What was it? Metroflog or something? I don't know. Let me know what was your social media when you were a youngster. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. A quick reminder to hit and smash that like button. It has no KYC, it costs you nothing, and it helps us out a lot. So if you think this gives you value, just say that you liked it with a thumbs up. Or if you think this is a waste of time, send it to your enemy. Maybe you can waste his time too, right? Look at that, thinking it twice. All right, so other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you will part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling after wheels fall low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!